Hello everybody, BrioS here, and the day is finally here. Yep, today is the day that Paul announced that PSR reset is just around the corner, and he announced that the proposal that he will use for the new PSR calculations has been finalized, and that is known as Core 2C. And for you guys today, I will go through a quick summary of the post, some possible implications, possible because it hasn't happened yet, because reality and simulations are different, and what it might mean for you, and of course my thoughts on this. But first, before I do that, a big shout out to the community and Paul for working together with this. This I think was the biggest positive thing for me, where PGI and the community worked together on a new thing, and that was fantastic. Basically, shout out to Paul for giving the community parameters and data to work with, and the community to level up together. Of course, there's some negative Nancy's. Most of the community working together, putting up a consolidated proposal with some data and examples, and pushing up to PGI. And Paul for actually listening, and yeah. So basically, this is a community proposal, and many people to thank, including Jay-Z, who led quite a qualified team of people under him. Well, they work together, so it's not actually under him. Yeah, but you get the idea. And coming up with this proposal. So everybody who came up with this, thank you so much, because this benefits the whole community. And thank you, Paul, for working together. I do hope we can work together on things like spawns, and other things, and of course content. But anyway, that is another issue. So for you today, I'm going to go through the post, my thoughts, and some possible implications, like I said. So let's get down to it. And of course, the link to this post is in the description below. But because sometimes you don't like long videos, this is going to be a short video, a quick summary of the video at the start. Wow, you know. So anyway, this finalized proposal is basically Core 2C. And in short, this is a blend of win-loss and performance. Mainly, the players who win will go up, but if you lose, you might still go up based on your performance, and that is good. But of course, most of the time, if you win, you will go up. So heavily weighted towards win-loss, but also a component of the weightage goes towards your performance relative to everybody else. Because honestly, sometimes we do, well, above average, but the team loses, and we would like to go up. 500 max score on a loss, and then we go down, it's just sucky. So anyway, let's get down to the proposal. So anyway, I'm gonna leave the details for you to catch up on your own, because that's too much information. But in short, this is the formula they are using for the new PSR system, and I really like the fact that they communicated this to us. And of course, these are the variables, and I want to point out something in this. It's kind of complicated, but the easiest way to look at it is this. You plus P for individual max score, so things to take note. A for the team's average max score, and M for the average max score of all 24 players. And in short, if you look at the positive and you see your P, so this compares your performance versus the team's average max score, and also another plus here with your performance relative to the average max score above all players. So if you want to look at your possible up for PSR in broken English there, you just compare your performance to the team, and of course to the max score of all players. So if you are on the losing team and your top max score on the whole match, you can still go up pretty darn nicely. So that's the best way to look at it. Your performance relative to the team, and your performance relative to everybody else. So let's get down to it. So of course, they have to give a case study. So this is a sample that they gave, and I think it's a pretty good sample. If you look at this part here, the winning team, the 12 players that won, some good performances. I want to highlight there are a few good performances, and for the purpose of my discussion, 2 players who totally potatoed. One at 77, the other at 89, 2 double digits. And on the losing team, you get no really high players. Highest is 315 max score, and only a few good high max score, average max score. So anyway, this is a pretty average team performance, and I'm going to use a few people to highlight this. So if you look at this highlights here, this is the ranking by max score and the PSR shift. So your performance is of course ranked by max score relative to the rest of the team and the whole match. So let's take a look at some of the people who got carried. So honestly, sometimes if you win but you did absolutely nothing, I don't think you should increase your max score, because basically you basically appeared and died and then, oh, I won, you know. That's not so nice. So let's take a look at the two potatoes, 7 and 12. And by the way, I'm a potato. Sometimes it happens to me also. So player 7 and 12. So if you look here, player 7 is somewhere at the bottom. So he gets a PSR drop. So is number 12, because he's ranked right at the bottom. So this basically shows that if you do badly on the win, you can still go down. In fact, let me bring up player 11 also. 11 is the next lowest at 132, also getting carried. And at 11, he also drops PSR. So basically, if you're doing poorly, maybe, my guess, if you're in a oversimplified version, max score 150 and below, odds are you will drop your max score. So that's, well, part of the new system, for better or for worse. And more importantly, let's look at the losing team. Basically, a few players might go up. So let's take a look at the top 2 players on the losing team. Player 14 at 315 max score, which is not that high honestly, but it's the highest of the losing team. And the second highest is 268, player 12, so it's 14 and 16. And the team didn't do too badly, only 2 double digits. So performance of these two relative to the team is above average, but not so high also. Slightly above average for the overall game, more or less. So let's take a look at player 14. Player 14 is pretty good. He is actually ranked here, quite high at the top 1/3. And because of that, even though he lost, he gets a PSR shift of a bit, just a little bit compared to the top player. But that is a reward for his good performance relative to the rest of the team. That's player 14 with a max score of 315 with a positive PSR increase of 6.1. And player 16 only at 268, but relative to the rest of the team, he's in the top 2. He also gets a PSR shift. Not much, but still a shift. And if I want to compare player 16, max score 268, with player 9 on the winning team. Player 9 has a max score of 258, slightly below 268, but he won. So the key factor is that even though the max score is almost the same, player 9 won. So let's look at that. Player 9 actually has slightly lower max score than 16, so these two for comparison, 9 and 16. But player 9 increases max score more than double that of player 16, so rewarding the fact that he won. So in short, all this information tells you that winning helps a lot, and a lot of people I know, and they have good reason for their point of view. They want everything to be win because it's a team game. So this final proposal pays homage to that, acknowledging that. And some people, like me, don't really want to drop PSR on a loss if we do really well, and that helps this team a lot. So this is a very middle line, but honestly weighting more towards the winning team, as I showed you between player 9 and player 16. So when you look at this, look at player 9 and 16, that's a pretty good example if you want to share with people. So anyway, let's go down. Of course, you can look at, these are some examples. Paul made a mistake somewhere. He actually quoted the number wrongly, but never mind. Today I'm not going to talk about that. So back to the next chart. This chart is the current distribution by tiers. See how much data PGI is giving us. Currently we have 15,000 or almost 16,000 players in tier 5. These are active accounts over the last 3 months. So exclude all the retirees, all those old geriatric people and the old folks home. Stop whining, you're not part of these calculations. Yep. So anyway, 16,000 players in tier 5, tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. You have eyes you can read. So even though it's an XP bar, tier 1 has less, mostly around the middle, so not so nice. Of course, everybody likes bells, you know, Liberty bells and all. So everybody wants to have a bell curve, the orange one, and this is what PGI is hoping to get. With this new system, he's hoping to get this kind of system where they're less in tier 5, people progress quickly up, and get, well, mostly stuck in tier 3, with the better players moving away and the top team pulling off to the corners of Zimbabwe, enjoying the wonderful food in Zimbabwe. So is this gonna happen? I don't know, but that's what he hopes. So anyway, this is pretty important, so let's go through this. PSR range is going to increase. I wish they would actually give us our PSR value in match, rather in game, sorry, rather than just, oh, you are tier 1. Tier 1, my bar is half full kind of stuff. Give us our numbers, PGI. Give us the fact that we're tier 1 and maybe a PSR of 4,100, for example. Give us the numbers, Paul. But anyway, so PSR reset is coming. So instead of rambling on and on, PSR reset will be coming soon, and Paul will update this post sometime tomorrow, and that's June 24th US time, or should I say Canada time? But yeah, so he'll tell us when this will happen. But like he said, it will be pretty darn soon, and it will be a patch, but it's not going to be a big one. And this system is actually being tested right now by QA, and according to him, it's working as intended. So we'll take a look and see how it goes. So in short, let's wait and see what happens. Now come my thoughts. What do I think about this? Firstly, I must say that this is a pretty good example to look at. I am in favor of this system. If you look at the different proposals, 1B, 1A, 2A, 2B, 2C, if you've been keeping track, I like the fact that 2C balances win and loss with a focus on winning. So the fact that you win will really help your PSR. And if you lose, you put in a good performance, but your team just couldn't carry you, well, you still get a positive PSR. But winning is the biggest factor, which is what I like. And that's good. As for this, will it become this? There is an issue I do worry about, because with the small player population and the fact that the group is merged with the team, that might be a problem, because with the high weightage on win-loss, you need to be carried by your team sometimes, and if you lose, odds are you will drop. So let's keep it that way, simplify it. If you lose, you will drop, and some people have a win-loss of below 1. That means most of the games they lose, which is fine. It doesn't have to be a competition. This means that even though they start at tier 4, they might not move up to tier 5. Everybody starts at tier 4, by the way, because you can do well, but relative to the team and the rest of the winning team, you, or rather the rest of the whole game, 24 players, you get a negative PSR and you slowly drop. And as you drop, you are matchmade with more potatoes and you drop even more. And it's a vicious cycle, some people would say, because the more you lose, the more you're matched with weaker players, and the more times you're matched with weaker players, there's a higher chance you will lose. So that's the train of thought. That is a vicious cycle, and this is a possibility. But to that group of people, I will say, let's see how it goes, because if you're matched with more potatoes, there should be more potatoes on the other side. And if this is happening to you, but you are in fact maybe a tier 2 or tier 1 player, you should get a higher max score. And even if your team is a potato and lose, with your higher max score as a superior player on a losing team, you can still slowly increase. So that will help you stabilize a bit. So give it a try, guys, you'll never know. And for those people who worry that the team is often carried by the group, that means the pre-made in Alpha Lance, that might be a possibility, because you might be, well, low tier, you might be a beginning player, tier 5, but if you have Alpha Lance full of JGX, EMP kind of people, you will go up pretty nicely. So that's also a concern, but they don't play all the time. So that's it for me. We'll see how it goes when PSR reset is here. And for everybody out there, give the thing a try and don't assume things. Give it a week or two, or rather a month or so, and see how it goes. So that's it for me. BrioS here signing off. Go check out the post, look at the details, and post your thoughts in the forum. So BrioS here signing off. All of you guys, I will see you on the battlefield. Till then, ciao.